Before 2014, Israel had always pushed for good relations with India, but the Indian government were not interested. After 2014, PM Modi has increased ties with Israel. Israel helped us in the 1971 71 war, Kargil war, etc. My question is that such a long relationship we have with Jews, is it possible that in the future they might ditch us? Because we have seen many instances when Pakistan was on the verge of accepting Israel, etc. Israel was ready to sell weapons to Pakistan, and some history of India and Jews relationship. Look, India and Israel are very different culturally. Okay, the Israelis, they follow Judaism, which is an Abrahamic religion. Their culture is very, very different from our culture in India, from the Dharmic culture. It's like oil and water. It's like day and night. Very different cultures. So we have nothing in common culturally, but we have many of the same enemies, right? And that's why India and Israel are such close, to some extent, close partners today. There is a great deal of warmth and camaraderie and a very cordial relationship. There is, to some extent, military cooperation, etc. We are building certain missiles, etc., the Barak missile and various other things together. There is a significant amount of cooperation and coordination in the intelligence front as well. The Israelis are very good in technology. They have ensured that they have invested a great deal in their startup ecosystem, in their technology industry, and that's why they have world class weapons manufacturing industries and all that, and they are selling some of these weapons to India as well, right? Now, the thing is that the Israelis also had a very good relationship with the Chinese. They were very interested in developing that relationship further, but the Americans forced Israel to stop partnering and cooperating with the Chinese. They wanted to sell defense equipment to the Chinese. The Chinese were very interested in Israeli technology, military technology, and all that. And the Israelis were very happy with that, right? Because the Chinese have the money that the Israelis want. So the Israelis were very happy to partner with the Chinese, despite knowing that the Chinese are India's enemies, right? So it is all about realpolitik. Every country will do whatever is best for them. There is no cultural affinity between India and Israel. So we have to understand that. If you look at the Israeli media, they portray, they are not very they don't have that sort of warmth towards India. Indians are like hardcore fans of Israel. Indians see Israel and India as blood brothers or something. The Israelis don't see India that way, right? And the Israeli media is not hostile, I would say, towards India, but there are many misportrayals, etc. I think it was the Jerusalem Times or somebody who was propagating that fake story of the so-called martyrdom of Saint Thomas in India. There is this fake story going about that this guy Saint Thomas came to India and the Indian Brahmins murdered him or something, right? So this story is very much popular in Israel, which is completely fake. There is no evidence that this individual ever came to India, and yet the Israeli media seems to be intent on pushing the story forward. So these are some instances, some examples of the way the Israeli media looks upon India. It doesn't have the kind of warmth that India has towards the Israelis. So we have to remember that this is merely a medium-term strategic geopolitical partnership. If in the future some other in the future the Chinese were to be able to reach out to the Israelis and acquire their arms and ammunition and weapons and technology, the Israelis will be very happy to oblige. So this is not an exclusive and unconditional relationship. The Israelis have their own national interest and they will look out for their national interest in whatever way is necessary. And we also have to be realistic about this. Israel and India have very good relations. It's a good thing. We have nothing against the Jews. We like them, which is good. But we should not be under the illusion that they are our blood brothers and it is an unconditional friendship. It is not the case. So please understand that.